team video. Today we're gonna take a look again at the Catch Cup. Sadly, the Catch Cup got fixed overnight. I think it took like 10 hours for them to fix it. But yeah, like if you didn't know, yesterday you were able to use Pokemon up to 9 months ago, I think, where you have to catch them, which is now back to 3 months. And yeah, this is sadly making this cup completely annoying and like not really usable for me at least. This is going to be my last actual video for this cup, as I have exactly 7 Pokemon built for this cup. 2 of them are Toxapex and 1 of them is a Shinotic, and I don't really have anything else to use other than my Zorak, my Togedemaru, and my Trevenant here. So yeah, this is not going to be like the best team that you can use for this cup. I'm just talking a little bit about the cup itself and about what's coming up. Because yeah, it's kind of sad that they fixed it. Like before, you were able to use Pokemon for like up to 9 months ago, which is amazing actually in my opinion. I think that would have been such a cool meta. Sure, some people still have like all the meta mons or whatever. I had like still like, I don't know, 30-40 Pokemon build. But the sad thing about this cup is I actually built way more Pokemon than the 7 that I have right now during this season of Go Battle League. But it depends on when you catch them. And I didn't catch the Pokemon that I built during the season, but I only built them during the season. So I had, for example, the Community Day mons. I don't have a single Community Day Pokemon, I think, in here for the 7 Pokemon I built, because I all caught them with good IVs already before the Community Day happened. And I didn't really play the Community Day too much. So I cannot use them even though I evolved them and built them during the season, because I didn't catch them during the season. Which I find a little bit awkward, because you are basically forced to use Pokemon that you caught right now, which is like, it doesn't really make too much sense. I don't really think this cup is nice. I was really hoping that they would keep the cup alive, but sadly they don't, as yeah, we are sadly going to, by the way, encounter Runerigas in the end, which I didn't really want to see. The one Pokemon I really didn't want to see. I actually would have been able to also use a Runerigas maybe as well. I got a really good one traded, but I still need one right, so I'm not going to use it here either. But I'm going to make some more videos, most likely for this cup, when we have the weekend event. I think on Sunday it is, where you can get the research, where you can get the Celesteela, and hopefully also the Katana for the Great League. I'm going to try to definitely do that, and hopefully going to be able to then also, yeah, trying to showcase those in the Catch Cup, because this might be then the only way to go for me, to be fair. But yeah, we're going to take a look at some gameplay here again. We're going to have a team that actually was a lot of fun to play. As you can see here, Togedemaru has a lot of play in this current meta. Electric types are something that nobody really is prepared of. If you don't face something like the Stunfisk, you're really fine, or Swampert, but even Swampert is fine. Look at the Togedemaru, knocking out the first Pokemon, knocking out the second Pokemon. In comes the Ariados, going for another Wild Charge. And Togedemaru actually sweeping a lot of times here just with the Wild Charge alone. It's insane how much damage this Pokemon can do. Very cool Pokemon as well, with Felstinger as a secondary move to boost its attack up. Didn't really work out too much, but yeah, we're going to face the next opponent, seeing opponent here with Gardevoir. Gardevoir, of course, is a Pokemon that I don't really want to face here at all, because you see my backline, like Zora are going to get like destroyed in like 3 moves or something. I don't know, I don't really want to know, but I think I'm going to know later on, as we're going to get both shields from the opponent. They're going to swap into a Steelix, and this is a Pokemon that I saw a lot of times. Sadly, I didn't get a good Onix during the event because I couldn't go outside. But we are going to be able to go for 1 Shadow Ball now, which at least does some damage here. But if you have a Steelix and a 2-shield scenario in this cup, you basically win with it, because Steelix just does so much damage with Psychic Fangs plus Dragon Tail. It's like such a good Pokemon. I might just going to build it just for the sake of using it next season. But Steelix with the Shadow bonus is definitely so much better compared to the Steelix without the Shadow bonus. We're going to be able to go for 1 Felstinger here, but this will not do enough damage, not even close to do enough damage, and they can farm me down with the Gardevoir. I have to go into my Traveler now, trying to go for 1 Shadow Claw to get them a little bit lower for my Zorak to farm them down, but sadly they survive with a 1 HP. I wouldn't have won even if I would have farmed them down here, by the way, because the opponent had too much energy already. But yeah, at least we see something that I expect a lot more here with the Toxapex. Also, Green got built by the opponent here. Green is one of the cheapest Pokemon that you can currently build for this cup if you really want to build this, like play this cup here. as Greedent needs only 10k for the second charge move and was available for a very long time during the last week or whatever. Like, was like a nearly 2-week event, I think, where you could catch it, which is really nice. So if you got a nice Greedent, maybe try to use it here. We're going to be able to hit the charge move against the Greedent as well. The Wild Charge going to knock that thing out, and we see the opponent coming into their Toxapex. We're going to be able to catch now the what's called the brine of the Toxapex there, which is nice, and we're going to see a Noctowl coming in, which is not ideal. Noctowl is, of course, if you ever saw any kind of regional stream or whatever, you've seen Noctowl a ton of times in the current meta because of Trevenant being so common, and of course of being a very good answer to Lickitung and also the Medicham. So like, this is the hardest answer for my Trevenant. I still gotta get my HP pretty low, and I will be able to take a move here with my Zoroark. Still, I will be able to get to another charge move with my Zoroark as well. I'm going to knock them out, and I can go ahead and go into my I don't knock them out. There's still a shield left. I can go into my Togedemaru. I have to farm up a little bit extra because I farmed up a little bit extra with that Toxapex. I can take this move, which is nice, but I'm going to have to hopefully one-shot him here, but I don't know how much damage this Wild Charge going to do against it. It actually does one-shot them, and I can go for another Wild Charge, knocking also out the Noctowl here, winning us the game here. Togedemaru again sweeping end game. This Pokemon was a lot of fun, especially in the lead. I think it's really cool because you can just go Wild Charge and dip. As we see a Golbat in the lead, very good lead for us. Really like to see this league in general, especially as they're just going to go straight for the Poison Fang for whatever reason. I will be able to take this, of course, double resisted, don't know why they do this. And we see a B-Rare coming in, B-Rare of the B-Rare. This Pokemon going to take this Wild Charge, but not going to actually, wanting to take it, going to shield up. And we see a Stomp coming through. This means that they're going to run Stomp and also the Superpower, which basically tells me I should be pretty fine with my Trevenant here. Trevenant should have a pretty okay-ish matchup, even though the fast move does a ton of damage. They're gonna go for Superpower. Look how much damage the Superpower did there. I didn't expect that whatsoever. Like, the damage of a double resisted move against me was like still like, I don't know, 20% or 25%. It's kind of crazy. As we see a Stomp coming through, which also does a ton of damage, way more than I expected. I don't know if it's broken or something, but like, I double resist the move and does like still so much. Kind of crazy. I can go into my Togedemaru. Sadly, I'm still switch locked, but I can still go into my Zoroark as I go into their Ferrothorn. I actually don't know when this Pokemon spawned, but we can shield up the Thunder, which is good for us, as this Flamethrower going to grill that Grass type and easily going to knock them out. As we see the Golbat coming in here, we can still go ahead and go for one Foul Play, as one Poison Fang will not knock me out yet, and this Foul Play should knock out the opponent's Pokemon, as this is coming through here right now, and we will be able to win this game as well. Next opponent, Bastion. Someone actually built a Bastion for the Catch Cup. Like, honest to God, why? I mean, either you have a ton of Stardust extra, or you really needed a Bastion and you got a good one during this season. Like, I don't think it spawned ever, so I don't know how you get it, like reward from Go Battle League or something. I have literally no clue, but a very cool Pokemon to play and use here. We will be able to go for 2 Wild Charges, and we will be able to farm them all the way down here as well with my Zoroark, which allows me to go for 1 Foul Play against their Shadow Swampert. Like, the things that people build during this event, like during the season, is kind of crazy. I didn't need to build any of those Pokemon because I already had them, of course. It's like the issue with having all the Pokemon already. I usually only build like new Pokemon that are new available. For the Trevenant, it was different because I wanted to get a good one. I didn't get a good one last time it was available, and now I got one that beats the Ring 1 Trevenant. Speaking of Trevenant, here we see another one here. They're gonna go straight for the Seed Bomb, which is fine, as we can go for the Shadow Ball here, and we will be able to knock out the opponent, and we can win CMP against Swampert all the time without Trevenant, so it doesn't really matter. The Seed Bomb is coming through. The Seed Bomb is going to knock out the opponent, and we will be able to win this game here. Next opponent, Togedemaru against Trevenant. Horrible lead, of course. We can swap out into a Zoroark, which is also kind of horrible, as we see a swap into the Greedent. We will be able to go for 1 charge move here with the Foul Play. Gonna do a ton of damage actually, but sadly they don't allow me to get to another one. I thought I might still survive this Body Slam, but we're so squishy that there's sadly no way for that. But we will be able to at least go into a Togedemaru. We can take this move here, going to be a Crunch, and we can hopefully go for a charge move now and knock them out. Let's see what they're going to do here. I'm going to go for the charge move. They're going to actually shield it, which is something that I didn't expect here. So I have to shield up the next move as well, going to be a body slam. I kind of want to farm up extra here as well, and I farm up too much because the opponent actually still gets to another move here. Going to be another body slam. I can farm up a little bit extra again. I'm at 100 energy here directly, which is kind of awkward because I couldn't farm up as much as I wanted to, and I have to swap out now. And they're going to have the Trevenant, and I was hoping that they go straight for the seed bomb here, but they didn't. They go for a Shadow Ball, and at this point there is no way of me winning this game. So good game to my opponent. Next opponent, Venusaur in the lead. This is a funny one. Venusaur, yeah, resist my moves here, but a wild charge against a Shadow Venusaur, you're going to see how much damage it's actually going to do. It still does more than half of its health, which is insane. I get 2 shots with a resisted move here, which is crazy. But we see, sadly, the Miltank coming in here against us. Miltank will be able to resist the Shadow Claw. Luckily, I don't get it aligned against my Trevenant, and I will still be able to maybe even go for another move with my Zoroark, as I still survive this one here. But they're going to know that, and they're going to go for another charge move here, which is fine. They will be able to get to the body slam so fast with their rollout. Rollout sadly got nerfed because, like, no rollout I find is the worst move. Like, it's a really, really weak move. Even though it generates a ton of energy, I think I really don't like the move still yet, because it just literally does 0 damage. It literally does no damage at all. Just basically a worse version of Lock On. As we see the Wild Charge coming through, we will be able to knock out the Miltank. We still have 1 move stored. I have to swap out immediately as we see a Steelix coming in. And I think at this point of time, this game is over. Steelix is just so strong as a Shadow version. Like you see here in the Great League, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more Shadow Steelix coming up even in regionals, because this thing just can go 2 shields and farm down nearly everything. It's really insane. Like, there's so much potential for this Pokemon. Like, you can wall, I think, Noctowl as well with it then. You can most likely have a good time against the, what's it called, Lickitung as well. I think it's actually a really strong Pokemon for regionals as well. Sadly, I didn't get a good one. I really would have liked to have a good one, but I couldn't really play the event, so it is fine. We see the next opponent here. We're going to see an Electrode build for this cup, and we see a Stunfisk coming in, which is not ideal. We were pretty late at swapping into my Pokemon here, which actually going to hurt us later, I think, as we're going to see them going for 1 Rock Slide. Fine for us. We can take at least 1 here. I will be able to win the 0 shield, and I should be able to win the 2 shields as well, but only really if I bait here. So I'm going to bait here, and I'm going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. Going to shield up the next move as well, as they're going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide. I can go for another Seed Bomb here. The Seed Bomb should be pretty fine against the against the opponent's Stunfisk, but I actually can go for another Shadow Ball as well still, which hopefully knocks out the opponent. Never mind, because we swapped out so late, they have basically those extra moves advantage now, which will knock me out. I cannot go into my Togedemaru, I have to go into my Zoroark. I'm gonna get 2 fast moves advantage, but I don't know how much it really helps me here as we see the opponent coming into their Toxa packs. I'm going to keep 1 charge move alive here, and I can snipe them with a 1 charge move of my Togedemaru. Going to do a ton of damage. We see the Electrode coming in, and I should have most likely went for the other move here. Should have went for the first thing, which is super effective. I forgot that this is double resisted. I thought it was only single resisted, but I forgot it was part grass type. So yeah, like this is a little bit awkward because they can farm me down. I should have went for a Faustling straight away, I think, and I would have been maybe a little bit better off. Like this, they will be able to get to another move here, just barely 1 fast move away from my charge move here. It's going to be a Start Drive. I think Brian would have been enough anyway from my opponent. That's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.